Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Lady Gang. I'm Becca Tobin here with Jack Vanek, Keltie Knight, and Callie Knight.
She's not even looking at me
well,
now.
the other thing,
She's
and like,
giving me the side eye.
I don't think we aired it, but the last time we were here, Callie, like the upkeep of the dog, I have an issue with this. I don't know what you do with your dogs, but like you hire a groomer.
We have a mobile groomer that comes, and it's great.
That's what I need
fancy.
to do.
Yeah.
I'm really in that era where I have outsourced everything.
Yeah.
Except that I still wash the dog every Sunday or whatever.
But like,
and sometimes I get busy and I don't. And last time Becca came over, there was a little bit of poop stuck on her poop hole and it got on her dress. And so then this morning I got up extra early and she's had a full bath.
She's beautiful.
With an extra butt wash.
get the dingleberry off.
I get the dingles out and I'm ready.
Well, do you think that the dog washing, like, is that a bonding experience for you? Do you need that?
No, she hates it
right?
so much.
Just do somebody who comes over and gives her a bath. I mean, I only do the mobile groomer to cut their hair because I have dogs with like shaggy hair.
Yeah.
But also, you could probably hit someone to come over here once every couple weeks and give her a bath.
Well, I'll talk about this.
Spa.
I'll talk about this on my bad week.
Okay. It's time for
Good week.
Yes, it is.
Bad week. Oh, no.
Mine is kind of long, but I did end up in the emergency room, so bear with me.
Okay. Wow.
Okay.
So this is in my good and bad week as well.
Yeah.
Saturday night, I got in bed at 9:30. I was just like so excited to get a full night's sleep.
Yep.
Zach and I were stoked about it. I went to like one Formula One party. It was fun, but
because they had Formula One.
Yeah, Formula One was in Austin.
Right.
So fun. The parties are, off the chain is what the kids say.
Yeah.
And I went to an event and I went early, so I was home by 9:30 and I was so happy and so excited. And I get into bed and I'm laying in bed and I fall right to sleep. And I wake up at 11:30 at 2 hours later and I'm like, oh, my stomach feels really weird.
Uh-oh.
And I was like, maybe I just have to pee. And I go pee. And by the time I'm back in the bathroom, it's been 30 seconds. I am hunched over, can't stand up. The pain in my stomach is so insane that I start shaking. I can't even grab my phone to Google what's happening to me. Like, that's how bad it was.
Wait, was Zach there?
Zach was there. And I was like, so I'm thinking to myself.
Your appendix?
I was thinking to myself, I was like, what am I going to do? Ford's here. He's sleeping. So, like, if this is an emergency, I either have to take myself to the hospital, which I cannot drive right now.
No. Right.
Call 911, which is mortifying. Yeah. Or find out if our friend can come and sleep at the house.
Right.
And, like, be there with Ford. So I was like, I just have to wake up Zach because I waited for it to pass and it was just so intense. It was this upper, like right under my
That's not
stomach.
appendicitis.
It's
Not
not
appendicitis.
I know.
Right here. You guys both know.
Yeah.
So
Wait, did you get your appendix removed?
Yeah.
I'm the only one in this group with an appendix.
Oh, that's
and I thought I was
that's a
about to
risk.
lose it.
Yeah.
I know.
We do like to do everything as a trio.
Yeah.
It's so true.
She's like, now that Jack's married, what can we do that's the same?
We still have some differences that we need to like homogenize within the trio.
Exactly. I have an appendix.
Yeah.
So I'm like, Zach, wake up. And you know when you wake someone out of a dead sleep and they're so confused, especially with an emergency.
Yeah.
I'm hunched over the bed. I can't get back on it. I can't stand up. I'm hunched over and I'm something's wrong with me. Something's wrong with me. So finally he calls our really good friend Cutter, who lives in the neighborhood. It's Jamie's husband. And he's like, hey man, Becca has to go to the emergency room. I don't know what's going on. Can you come and just sleep in the guest bedroom? Ford's here or whatever. So he's like, great, comes over. It's like the best neighbors, best friends ever. So he comes over, we get in the car, we go to the emergency room, and I'm like, at this point, my entire body is tingling.
Oh, no.
The pain is so bad, I'm having to sit on the side. Like, I couldn't even commit to sitting in the seat in the car.
God.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know what's wrong. I feel like nauseous, like I'm going to throw up.
Yeah.
Get to the emergency room. It's pretty quick. They wheel me back.
So you didn't have to wait. It was serious enough. Oh, because normally, if you go into the emergency room, it's like 17 hours
I'm
later.
actually shocked about that because usually if you're not like dying, they don't take you seriously.
Yeah,
that you
but
have
it
a
was
stomach
dead.
ache.
It was
bed.
It was dead.
No,
it
but you
was.
didn't have like blood spewing out of your
Right.
head.
Yeah.
No, it's true. Lucky you.
So I got back there and doctor comes in and they're putting my IV in, and I'm like, I'm gonna have to have emergency surgery. I know it, and this is gonna suck so bad. Because by this time, I had done enough research, and Zach had done enough research, and Jamie had done enough research. She's like, it's your gallbladder.
That's what I was going to say.
Exactly where it is.
Yeah.
It's exactly where it is.
Yeah.
So the doctor comes in, she starts doing like pushing on my stomach, and she's like, does this hurt? Does this hurt? I'm like, it's the worst thing I've ever felt in my life.
Yeah.
Please stop touching me. And
Yeah.
she's like, that's your gallbladder.
No.
So then
They do a scan.
she's like, we have to order an ultrasound. In the meantime, we'll get you some pain meds. We're going to get you like all set up. Just like
a little
stay
morphine,
here.
feeling good.
Exactly. I was so up that I had to give a urine sample. They were like, you have to try, you have to get up, you have to try. I literally was in so much pain. I pissed all over the floor in the bathroom.
Oh no.
Like everywhere.
Oh no.
I couldn't do anything. I was f***ing awful. So then I'm in the room and I'm waiting for the ultrasound tech to come in. It's a while, you know what I mean? And I'm just laying there and I'm finally feeling like, oh, I don't know, maybe I'm just tolerating the pain at this point. And then I start feeling the pain move from the top of my, like right at the top of my stomach. And then it's moving and moving and moving, like down my intestines.
Oh my God. Do you have a parasite?
What the did you eat?
And then I farted.
No.
And then I made eye contact with Zach and I go, I just farted.
And you feel relief.
And I don't feel anything.
Are you?
I'm no longer in pain.
Okay, well, this is what the fucking doctor tried to tell me that my
That you had
extreme
to fart.
appendix. She was like, "What was the last thing that you ate?"
They
and I
kept
was like,
asking me the last thing I ate.
McDonald's, and she's like, "It's probably gas." But then I had to have emergency surgery, so you never know.
You don't
Wait,
know.
You never know.
Becca,
I farted it out. The pain, literally,
Dude.
the moment the gas left my butthole, I looked at Zach and I was like, this is the best thing that's ever happened to me and also
So
the
embarrassing.
worst.
So
I'm
embarrassing.
humiliated. I'm mortified.
so did you let them do the scan?
I had to. So
Right.
once they like
Yeah.
put you in there,
Right.
they're like, also with the gallbladder, sometimes it is like an on and off pain.
Right.
And because I had not eaten anything that could have given me, I had such a crazy day that day that I had like a little breakfast in the morning, a few bites of macaroni and cheese, like nothing that would be like a,
Yeah.
you know, like food poisoning situation. So I'm like, it is weird. But I farted and immediately it was fine. And then I had to sit there. And it's by now like 1 a.m, 2 a.m. Zach is exhausted. He's not making me feel bad at all, which is so nice. But I'm like, I'm so sorry. Like, I'm so sorry. If I felt any part of me in the bedroom tonight that I could get through this, I
Yeah.
would have never wanted to do. This is so embarrassing. So then the doctor comes in. They're like, your ultrasound is totally fine. Everything's totally fine.
But you know what? It's nice to get a free ultrasound.
You know what I
just
just
to
said?
make sure.
I said, if you have insurance and you want to just get like a full abdomen ultrasound,
Yeah.
go to the emergency room and say you have a lot of pain. Because you get a full, she spent, even though I knew I farted out the pain, she still spent 30 minutes checking every organ inside my body.
Oh yeah. Well, that's how I found out I had that like huge fibroid on my uterus is because of my appendix scan.
It's amazing.
You just like never know.
So if
It's
you
nice
just
to
want
get
like
a
an
little
annual freebie with your insurance, just go to the emergency room. She did tell me it happens. I was like, I'm
Wait,
mortified.
did you say I farted out the pain? Did you
Yes,
admit?
I admitted it.
Oh
I
my
had
God.
to. I went from writhing in pain
Yeah.
to fine. Like it was the weirdest, most instant relief of my life.
I think that this is such a good example of how f***ing painful gas is. Because
It's-
like people don't they're like, oh yeah, like a little toot. Like gas is painful.
It was
It's debilitating.
horrible. Horrible.
I mean, I hate to be the one to like bring it back to 2017, but like Mr. Wonderful, free the fart.
Free
like
the
if
fart.
you've been a longtime LadyGang listener, I
Farts.
feel like I know you probably gave away your free the fart shirt, but I feel like
definitely
you should be iconic and bring it back.
The muffler.
I freed the fart.
She freed the fart.
It was so embarrassing. So the bad week is that I went to the emergency room, and the good week is that it was just a fart.
Yeah, you didn't have to have your gallbladder removed. That's nice.
I was preparing for it, and I think the tingling on my body was a panic attack.
I think so too, yeah.
Yes.
Because I was like, I'm gonna have surgery. I'm gonna die. I didn't say goodbye to my son. It was like the whole thing was going through my mind, and I was like, I was 1,000% convinced I was going to have surgery. Was I slightly excited for
the drugs.
the
Anesthesia?
Yes.
Yes, of
course.
Everything else was a nightmare. What nightmares are made of? But then I
Oh my God. Did I ever tell you about when I had appendicitis? As I'm like also so up on morphine. As I'm getting like wheeled into the room for my emergency surgery, the guy shows me this hand-drawn picture of basically your stomach going into the appendix. And I had to like sign on the paper like, this is what I'm doing right now. But it looked like it was like a drawing for a 5-year-old.
I wish you could have gotten that and framed it.
I know.
Yeah.
With a little piece of my appendix. So bad.
Why do we have these things we don't really need in our bodies that can wreak
I think
havoc?
you need the gallbladder.
Do you?
I think you do.
The gallbladder is what makes bile, I think.
Yeah, when you get it removed, you have like
Medication.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
The appendix is, you don't need it.
Useless.
So weird.
It's like a withered end of your stomach.
It's like a tiny.
Also,
Okay.
fun fact, did you know that if you go to Antarctica and you're working there, you have to get your appendix removed?
Because there's nowhere to
get
do it.
Yep.
Look at
That's
us.
the best.
Because there's nowhere to get it. We're so excited. We're so smart. Becca, why are we
But
so
that is
smart?
the best fact you've given good facts
Yeah.
on this podcast, but that was the
Yeah.
top notch.
Because if you get appendicitis, like you're gonna die, because you'll die, because then you'll go into sepsis and like all this kind of
Yeah.
shit. So yeah,
I
fun fact.
actually
Thank God
do,
Jack spends all her life on the internet.
It's so true. TikTok, you're the greatest educator of the American people.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll go next.
Yep.
Okay, so my good week is I got to see my favorite band of all time last weekend, Something Corporate.
The Maine? Oh.
No. The Maine's my second
Did
favorite
they
band.
play? Did the main play?
No.
Oh, you
No, I'm
just went?
saying she saw her favorite band. She should be saying the Maine.
No. It's Something Corporate. And the singer of Something Corporate is my number one of all time. Jared knows this. I would leave him for Jared in a second.
Wait.
What?
This is f***ed up, Jack.
No.
It is f***ed up. It's like me telling Zach that the only person I would leave him for is a more successful
version of him.
like a more successful commercial developer. Like you
if
know
I
what
was
mean?
like, Chris, the only person I'll leave you for is Scooter Braun.
Yes, that's the
yeah.
exact same thing. That's a much better example.
No, but here's the thing. Jared gets it. There's something about, his name is Andrew McMahon. There's
I'm gonna
something
Google
about
him.
him
Okay.
that it's just, he's got the riz.
Jared gets it.
He gets it.
Oh my
He didn't get it for
Yeah,
a while.
and then he cries in the bathroom when you're not looking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Jared would never tell you his true feelings.
What if he was like, you know who my number one, if I could like have anybody like, you know, not you,
Yeah.
is Alex Cooper. Is
Yeah.
that her name?
Yeah, that would be the same thing.
Yeah, it's
You need to look up Andrew McMahon, especially look up Something Corporate.
this dude.
Yeah. Look up Something Corporate. He used to have floppy hair and glasses. So
okay.
cute. Anyways,
Okay.
I've
Oh
loved him-
my God.
I've loved him since I was like 16.
It's okay, I forgive you.
Anyways, I got to see them. They haven't had the same lineup in 20 years. It was a reunion show. It was so great. I cried. I danced. It was great. Get off.
I'm so bothered by this. Like, what is that?
Yes,
I get
the
it.
floppy
I get
hair.
it. It's the songs. Andrew
Becca-
McMahon in the wilderness, like you.
Also,
it's the songs.
Becca, you don't get it. You weren't
you don't
an
get
emo
it.
kid.
Yeah, you didn't
This
get
guy.
it.
Yeah.
You didn't get it.
You
don't
didn't get it.
I don't get it either. But Jack, is your bad week that there's some spray tan in your part?
No, but I can't believe
What is
it.
that?
It's spray tan. It looks like I have scabs on the middle
Yeah,
of my
you
part.
do.
I try. Well, you know, I spray tan my face, and then my part is like
So white.
ghostly white.
Yeah.
So I tried to like. I don't know what the move is. I tried to rub it in, but it's scabby.
Yeah, it's not great.
It's not great. No, my bad week is. So we saw Something Corporate. They did a show at the House of Blues. Then we went to When We Were Young Fest. So obviously, When We Were Young Fest is just like a huge group of people that I have known my entire life from back in the day. But a lot of them I haven't seen in 15 years. So Jared and I are like walking to like one of the stages, like backstage, and I see the singer of Plain White Tees, but like not like, I kind of looked at him and we didn't make eye contact or anything. So then we start walking towards the direction, and I kind of get closer, and I'm in my head, I'm like, do I say something? Like, is he going to remember me?
You knew him when you were young.
I knew him when I was young. I have not spoke to him in probably 15 years. So I'm like, does he know what I look like? Like, whatever. So we're getting closer and closer, and I'm like, I don't think I'm going to say hi. And then we're almost passing him, and he like reaches his arm out, and I'm like, hey. And I go in for the hug, and as I'm going in, I'm like, that wasn't for me, was it? And he goes, no, it wasn't, Jack, but hi.
Oh, that's cute.
Oh, he knew who you were.
So he knows me. And actually, and then he's like, oh my God, congratulations. I've been like looking at all your wedding content. I'm like, wow,
hasn't?
okay. I didn't think that he even remembered who I was, but he's been following my life.
That's great.
But there was nothing worse.
Did you hook up with him when you were young?
No.
Okay.
No. I was just friends with him. But there's nothing worse than going in. It's like the wave, but like it's for the person behind you.
I know, it's
but like
horrible.
I've never experienced something worse than that, which is going in for a hug when he actually meant to say hi to the person in back of me.
Do you remember Jenna Fisher's the
with
best
Larry David?
Yes.
story ever? If you've not listened to it, we're actually, I think it's coming. We're going to re-release it. Jenna Fisher was on LadyGang years ago. She told a story about a horrible audition for Curb Your Enthusiasm. And as she was leaving, Larry David was sort of like putting his arm out to lead her out of the room.
Yeah,
like,
she
get out,
hugged him.
and she gave him a hug.
No, you guys, it's the exact same thing that happened.
That is mortifying.
Except for it was with somebody that I didn't even know if they remembered me or not.
well, at least he knew who you were.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, it was fine, but I was like, wow, that's as I'm going, it was like slow motion. I was like, this hug isn't for me, is it?
Oh no.
I want to tell you something. I immediately took this to a me place.
Of course.
I know the singer of Plain White Tees remembers me.
Yeah.
Because I recently read this book called Where Your Boys Tonight. It's a memoir book audio or of the emo era.
Yeah.
This journalist wrote it and he interviewed everyone.
Oh really?
Like,
not me.
well, I know he needs to do the girl one now. He did like, it was Pete Wentz and Alex DeLeon and like Dashboard Guy and like anyway.
yeah.
So anyway, I'm in the book.
Like
You are?
Somebody said something about you?
Yes.
Plain white tea guy?
Plain White Tea Guy.
What
said
the
something
fuck did
about
he
me.
say?
He said, well, they were talking about the first Panic tour when Panic only had 11 songs.
Yeah.
And they were playing arenas, which was like bananas. And
Yeah.
Plain White Tea was opening for them. And he was like, he was talking about that song, Here There Delilah. And he was like, every night, Ryan Ross and his girlfriend would come to the Wings for Here There Delilah and slow dance together.
That was that you did that?
Yes.
No way.
Ew,
Yes.
cringe.
So cringe.
You are Taylor Swift.
Because I was in New York City. What's it like in New York City?
Did you think that? Yeah, you're like the song's about
No,
me.
but
main
then-
character energy.
But what was so funny, I know, totally. But then what was so funny about it is I remember Ryan getting angry or like being like weird. I think that like at some point I started liking him and then that's when he started treating me bad. But when I didn't like him at all, he treated me so nice.
Ryan,
It's
yeah.
very like normal. And so
Super normal.
I remember like I'd been on tour with them when I was living on the tour bus, but like it was like how many times was I going to watch that show?
Yeah.
So like I just went to bed during their show and like he
Yeah.
found out that I slept through their show and was like mad.
I do that to Jared sometimes.
Yeah, I'm like, I saw this yesterday. I'm
Yeah.
good. But then, like, if you came and saw me with the Rockettes, I need you to see the show every time.
Yeah,
I
but
was
it's
in
like
it.
how many rose vests can you really see?
It was. I was past that era. Anyway, okay. My good week. My good week is that I'm a cool person who goes out of their house and does things for fun with my husband. So last weekend, out of the blue, a couple of my friends had 2 extra tickets to U2 at the Sphere in Vegas. Bless you.
Thank you.
And they called at like noon and they're like, hey, what are you guys doing tonight? And we were not doing anything. I was planning on watching Housewives on the couch and ordering a Domino's.
Yeah.
And they were like, if you get to Vegas, we have 2 tickets in our suite to see you 2 at the Sphere.
Tight.
And I was like, well, I didn't want to go, of course. I was like, I had already made up my mind. I was going to sauna. I was
my
going to
God.
read. I was going to do a foot mask. But then I looked at Chris and I could
foot
I could
mask.
tell in Chris's eyes
wanted to
he
go.
wants to be a fun person. He's
Aw,
bored in our
yeah,
marriage.
yeah.
So I was like, no, let's go. So we booked tickets. We go to Southwest. We fly to Vegas. We go to the show. And then
When was this?
this was like last weekend.
Oh, okay.
I didn't post about
Like
it.
when I was in Vegas?
No, it was
The weekend
last
before?
the weekend before.
Oh, okay.
And I then I got there and I decided that we were going to take mushrooms. So we
Fun.
took mushrooms. Well, you know that I lowered my Prozac.
So they actually work.
Yes. So I have
Oh.
taken mushrooms before, but I was on too much Prozac. My serotonin was already at its highest.
Yeah.
But I lowered it, and so they did work. And let me just tell you, I'm not even the biggest U2 fan. Like
I don't think you have to be for the Sphere.
No, it was the most.
What is the Sphere?
So it's in Vegas. It's this new venue that is the shape of a sphere, and the entire thing is like an LED video wall.
But the wall comes
in like
from behind your seat.
14K, and every seat in the theater is sonically like you hear the same thing.
Yes,
So
and there's
it's perfect.
wind. It's like being on Soaring at Disney,
Yeah.
but like
Yes.
times 1,000.
Whoa.
So like it can shape shift, like the ceiling comes down on top of you, or like it makes you feel like you're in this tiny box.
It's like a 4D experience.
It was insane. It was so crazy. And then I was on mushrooms, and I'm like, at the end, there's like this whole scene where it's like all you go towards the light. I think it's like supposed to represent death, and then it's all fossils and everything's white, and it's kind of like eras, like years and years and years of life on Earth. Like it's very profound. And then all the color comes back. And I turned to Chris, he was crying.
He was crying?
Yes. It was amazing.
Wait, is this while she was playing?
Yeah, it was like they were playing like With or Without You or something. It was like very amazing. Anyway, and then we ruined it because we went to Tao, the nightclub after, like Vegas style, and I was like, I hate it.
You know,
here.
the worst place to go on mushrooms is a nightclub.
I hate it.
It
here.
is the worst.
They'd kind of worn off, but anyway, it was great.
Wait,
also,
I was going to say, I ran into a lady ganger when we were young. She was like, I just saw Keltie at the Sphere. I was like, are you sure that was Keltie?
It was me.
I had no idea. I was like, I
remember her. I forget her name now, but I remember her. She stopped me, and we were walking home from because everyone was at Tao, and they wanted to like rage until 4 in the morning. I was like, absolutely not. No. I already made it out of my house. I did a drug. I'm going home. And she was like, oh my God, I love the podcast. I was like, oh my God, hi. I really want to hang out, but I'm super high right now.
Oh my God. Bless you.
Okay. Sorry, I'm dying. So also, I just want to say, I know Chris is ready for more fun in your marriage because I randomly texted with Chris last week about trying to book one of his artists to come do this charity event in Austin. And he was like, yes, definitely. But it does come with me and Keltie joining you at the event in Austin.
Oh, he's trying to get out and about.
And I was like, this is such a, like,
he wants to leave the house.
I forget that Chris isn't Keltie.
Yeah.
So when he said it, I got so excited. It felt like when Keltie occasionally wants to do something fun, you're like, strike while the iron's hot. Let's do the thing. And then it didn't work out, so you guys aren't coming. But he really wanted it to happen.
Oh, I love that for him.
Okay, here's my bad week. It's a little sad. I mean, it's a little sad. It's a little real.
Okay.
It's just as real as you going to the hospital. So I was deciding if I was going to say this on the podcast or not. No, it's fine. It's fine. I'm fine. But you guys know that I've like always been incredibly good with my money. I'm like a nutto bananas about money.
Yeah.
I just wanted best trait.
I wanted everyone to know that I am in debt for the first time in my life. In my adult life.
Like actual debt?
Like, okay, so here's the thing.
I don't think this is incorrect. I already know.
No. So like No. I want to explain it to you. I have savings.
Yeah.
And I have investments and I have retirement. Like, so if I got to a place, I could pull out of that.
So then I don't.
Is it not called debt?
Continue. Just continue.
Well, what I
I'll tell you what it is.
Okay. So I have
being human.
I have always been
using your checking account.
It's right. It's been for the first time in my life, I am not able to pay off my credit card in full.
But you have a savings account.
But I can't get to that money. It's like a long-term investment.
So you would just get dinged.
I would get dinged.
Yeah.
There's no money available to pay the...
You don't have your emergency fund in your checking account right now.
Exactly.
Okay.
This is troubling to me. Actually, this is actually troubling. I'm taking a turn.
We can get it if I want to get it.
With a penalty.
You get a penalty.
Yeah. It's like...
You're putting too much in savings then. You need to have...
I usually have a really good nest egg in my checking account, but here's what happened, okay? The recession happened.
But like you did... Okay.
Okay.
Like you're an investment banker.
No, I haven't stopped living my big life.
Yeah.
And I lost my big life job. And it took a few years for all that to dry up, but it's dried up now. And then the other thing is that I've done a bunch of work and I haven't been paid on anything. Like I have outstanding things that I haven't been paid on since last March.
Right.
So I'm like, I know there's money coming, but I don't have it right now. And it's such a strange thing. When I looked at my credit card and saw that I paid $500 in interest this month on my credit card bill, I was like... Anyway, I know now everyone's going to hate me and they're going to be like, oh, you bitch, like you're not real and you're so privileged.
No,
this blah, blah.
It's all
but
relative.
I'm just trying to tell you, it scared the shit out of me. It's a very bad feeling. And I really feel for everyone that has ever been in this position or doesn't have the money to pay off their bills. And I'm like literally begging people to pay me and it just feels weird.
Yeah.
And I'm like, anyway,
But you have money coming in, so it's just a delay.
I'm fine.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to be real.
Yeah.
That it's like the holiday season, and normally I go crazy overboard on everyone, and like you guys aren't getting gifts this year.
You can embezzle from LadyGang. It's fine.
I
could.
know.
We would never know. Jack and I would literally never know.
I mean, if LadyGang had a bunch of extra money laying around, I would definitely embezzle it, but we
know.
don't have extra money either. It's just been like a year.
That's where everything is catching up.
You know, I did have a conversation with Zach recently because I saw the balance on a credit card just for the month because we pay it off every month.
Yeah.
And one month was like crazy.
Yeah.
We paid for it was so insane to me that we could even spend that kind of money. And I had the same panic where I was like, if I kept going like this, we would lose everything.
Yeah.
Oh, imagine having a wedding this year.
Right. No. I'm just saying, like, it was very unnerving. It is very unnerving. And I feel for everyone. And, like, I just, I lived a big life this year. I was like, oh, I'm going to send my parents to Tahiti and I'm going to renovate 2 spaces in my house. Like, no. Shouldn't have gotten that upgrade in the pool tile. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, they're like, where's our money? And I was like, and I look at Chris, I'm like, do you have the money to pay for that yard? And he's like, I could take it out of, I'm like, Anyway, long story short, I'm going to be fine. But I just wanted to say that I want to try to be real on the podcast, but you'll probably hate me for it. So, all right, when we come back, allegedly, what's happening?
Great.
Welcome back. I stayed up last night and read the entire Britney Spears memoir, so you didn't have to.
I saw this. Tell us about it.
Are you interested in the Britney Spears memoir?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you?
I know you're not.
I am.
I want us to be nice about it. Can we be nice?
I'm not being nice. I don't believe she wrote any of it.
She definitely wrote it.
Oh, because it's not great.
The writing is not amazing.
Okay.
And
I'm just saying this based on the captions on Instagram.
yes.
I'm not being mean. I'm just saying the level at which the captions, you can know a lot about somebody by the way they write a caption in an Instagram.
Listen, she wrote it and then an editor went through and made it complete sentences and not like an Instagram caption. But it reads exactly like you would expect her
how
to leave.
she speaks.
100%. And that's what's actually enjoyable about it, because she'll put little asides where she's like, bonkers, or like she'll be like, can't believe it. Like, it's not a full sentence, but it's like her little, how she felt in the moment. She was like, wouldn't have thought. Like, she just, it reads like her personality.
Yeah.
So here's my takeaway from a couple parts of it.
Okay.
First of all, it could have been and should have been 6 parts longer.
Oh.
Like, it took me 3.5 hours to read.
How many pages was it?
It's like 200 and whatever pages,
That's like how long the LadyGang book was.
Yeah. But it's like she really flutters over things.
Yeah.
She's like, then I was on the NSYNC tour and then that's over. Then she's like, then I was on the mall tour. And what I really wanted is I wanted her to be like, I was doing the dance with the snake. Like, she tells the story of rehearsal and she's like, what people didn't realize is they never saw on MTV is like, I'm dancing with a snake and he didn't do it in rehearsal, but the snake during the live performance turned to me and stuck its tongue out and was hissing and was angry. And she's like, but they cut away from it so you didn't see that. And she was really scared. So she's like telling these like,
It's my nightmare.
I know, she's telling these really good stories about behind the scenes, but then I wanted to know about the costume fitting and what you did that night. And like, she talks about the double denim and it was Justin's idea. Like, she tells so many really fun pop culture stories.
Yeah.
So that's like really, really fun, but she goes through it so fast that you're like, I want you to like, she's like, I hated this tour. And then she's like, it was so funny. I was thinking about you, Becca, when you were like, I used to like try to get break something because I just wanted the attention.
Yeah.
She's like, she just like was trying to get injured so bad so she didn't have to work anymore. And she admits it. And that's like what's really cool about it is she's like, I hated the Onyx Hotel tour. I wanted to be on vacation. They told me I could take vacation. They told me I could have time off. And then they made me go back to work. And she's like, and I was on the tour and I hated it. And I just prayed that like my knee would get bad again and I would need surgery.
Oh my God.
How sad.
I know.
Yeah. And then there was like, so there was actually a lot about her relationship with Justin. I mean, everyone's seen at this point that she talks about getting this abortion.
Yeah.
But it was so crazy. She's describing it. She took the pills, the at-home abortion, no pain medicine, no support. And they just kind of like left her in the bathroom to like.
And that is the worst feeling. It is so painful, the pill.
Was she like on a tour or something?
Because when you do a normal abortion, you go under anesthesia.
Yeah.
So
sometimes, but not at like Planned Parenthood.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So like an abortion is, unless you're like a wealthy person, no matter how you do it, it hurts like a mother.
Yeah.
The pill is literally, you take it, you lay in your bed and you're contracting. Like your cervix is contracting and it's like part of what childbirth feels like. And you're just bleeding out and it's disgusting and horrible.
Yeah. And I do feel like, and listen, this book is all from Britney's side. And I know there's 3 sides to every story, but I do feel like, in the book, this is like the trauma. This abortion is the trauma that sends her into the spiral of being Britney Spears. Like, because she's talking about Disney and she was like, I loved being on set. I loved being on the Disney Mickey Mouse Club. We would rehearse all the time. It was so fun. And then she went back to regular school. She went back to high school and she was like, I wanted to be normal. I was doing basketball. Like, she was like totally cool. And then she was like, and then I really wanted to sing again. And she talks about getting her record deal. And like, she's really wants it. She really, really wants it. After the abortion, she really talks about teetering of being like, I just wanted to go home and be normal in Kentwood. I just didn't want this anymore.
Did she want the abortion? Did she talk about how the decision was made?
She was basically, and obviously I'm paraphrasing and I read it very quickly, but they got pregnant. They were together. They were like really in love.
Yeah.
Well, it was her first kiss.
No, there was like this photo shoot that I think that they did that they were like engaged
or something, but we never saw a ring. Yeah, I saw that. She doesn't talk about that, but she talks about she got pregnant and Justin was like, I'm not ready to be a parent. We're too young. And she was like, her thinking was.
How old were they?
It was young, like 17, 18 or something, maybe. 20? I don't know. She said, listen, it wasn't the best. Like I wasn't ready to be a mom, but I figured we were going to have kids and get married anyway. So it was just like, we're just doing it earlier than expected.
Yeah.
And he was like, I don't want to be a parent. And it's interesting because everyone's been talking about how she bashes Justin in the book. I didn't take it as a bash at all. She's telling the truth of what her truth of what happens.
There's nothing wrong with him not wanting to be a dad.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, that's not bashing.
No.
Yeah. I mean, it reads a little bit in the book like she didn't get to make the decision herself, that the decision was sort of made for her and it wasn't what she wanted, but she went along with it.
Yeah.
But I think that's a lot of women.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In their young age having an unwanted
since
pregnancy.
They're so young.
Yeah, you know. So that was like really, really interesting.
Did we get any other tea?
There was like I just thought it was really interesting. She talked a lot about, like, I didn't realize her relationship with her entire like, she's just alone in the world. And that's what really made me really sad about the book is like, they took away the assistant best friend. She talked about like being friends with her dancers, but they wouldn't even like let her see them, know them, like have a relationship.
Kept her really isolated.
Kept her really isolated. And she basically was like, when I was in Las Vegas, I was a robot because they took away her kids and they said the only way you'll be able to see your kids is if you do shows.
That's so insane.
So like she was like, I was a robot. So if you saw me in Vegas, I wasn't even trying. I came out, I did the show. Hi, welcome to Vegas. And I was like, I saw the show and that's exactly what it was.
Dude, I'm somehow on Britney Talk probably because of the book right now. And it's like there's so many of these TikToks that are like zooming into her face during these performances. And you can tell
she doesn't give
it's like she doesn't give it, or she's just like so miserable and struggling so hard. It's like, and she's smiling and it's just like, dude.
Yeah, definitely. It was like, and her point in the book was really interesting. And I won't talk about this the whole episode. Obviously, there's so many things to talk about. But the point in the book was really interesting where she was like, conservatorships are for people who cannot make decisions on their own. Mm-hmm. And she's like, so it just really bothered me that like you were saying she needs, because she had two of these different conservatorships, money and then like her own well-being. So like she couldn't go and say, I don't want my birth control anymore. She wasn't allowed to make any decisions about her own body or healthcare, which is insane. Yeah. But she was like, but I kept saying like, oh, well, if I'm not well enough, please give me a vacation, give me time off. I'll just go back to the house. I don't want to work. I don't want to do the shows. And they were like, no, you're good enough to do the shows.
Yeah.
You're good enough to work and make everybody money.
You're good enough to be a superstar, but not enough to make a decision on with what coffee you want.
And that's where her family, I think, really screwed up is like, if you were genuinely concerned, which I believe they probably were.
Of course.
And having her in Vegas was also making the money, but it was also giving her like a routine and the thing that she loves to do, allegedly, but obviously she wasn't loving it. But it's like they fucked up in the sense that this is just such an outsider's opinion that they didn't get her help that she needed versus forcing her to do a show every night.
Right. It's like the regularity could have been someone at her house,
getting her
up, working out. Then you do lunch. Then you do cooking class. Then
like
you
an
do
hour of therapy. Because any kid, no matter who you are, if you get famous, you need therapy.
Yeah.
And
Doesn't matter.
she didn't talk about going and getting any help during all of the fame.
I'm sure she didn't. They were like
The
trying
abortion,
to
like all that stuff. And that's why they made her do the abortion at home because like no one could know about it and they didn't want it getting out. Yeah, it was like that. Her words talking about the realization of like she knew she wasn't dumb and she knew she wasn't sick enough, like she could still do the shows, and she was like, and then I was really smart, and she tried to outsmart them. So she was like, I would show up and do nothing. I would show up and do the least. I was trying to make my knee bad because I didn't want to do the shows. So it was just like it was really, really sad. And I don't know. It was really sad. It was really interesting. I wish it was longer. I hope she does a part 2.
Wow.
What a read. Okay. Come back on Thursday. Well, we're going to do the other part of Allegedly on Thursday. Okay. We'll see you on Thursday.
See you next Tuesday.
Bye.
See you Thursday.
Sorry.